Hello, kind people. This is Dmitry. Welcome to my weekly listener recap. Today we're talking about this puzzle. It's called Clerical Work, and it is by a setter who I'm not even sure how to pronounce that pseudonym. Is it Awinger? Is it Awinger? It's a little bit of a problem. Awinger, I think I would pronounce that. I don't really know what it means. I tried anagramming it and got to wearing, and I don't think there are any other anagrams, and I don't think whether that means anything. This, I think, is their fourth listener, and I did enjoy the previous ones, although I don't think they were sort of among the most memorable listeners. And I think this one I will remember, but probably for some of the reasons that have nothing to do with, the grid and answers and clues itself. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Here is the preamble. 9 clues need a word removed to enable solving. The first 2 words give wordplay for an author's surname. The others roughly precise a play of his and are also wordplay for its title. 16 3 words. In 35 other clues, the wordplay leads to the answer entered normally with an extra letter. The letters refer to how 5 of the play's characters treated a 6th, and the 6th ensue in state. In the grid, replace straight line jumbles of the characters' first names, for the 6th, both first names, with the corresponding description. Then highlight the entry that is a homophone of a 7th character who turns up as a result. The final grid only contains real words, phrases, names, and an abbreviation. I think I had somewhere I tried keeping track about which answers which entries I got first, but I think we'll jump here straight to the end game because the grid fill wasn't hard at all. So this is the grid filled, and maybe here, yeah. So maybe I can show you some of the. So here is the first clue I solved. Used adds scruffy leathers. So here is just an anagram of used adds with an extra D, and these are the leathers. Not sure I know how to pronounce them actually. Not the word I use a lot. Blue Swedes. Sorry. Non-native speaker is my usual excuse here. Okay, this was the second one. Adds and Andrews turn left, taking pages from 60s Rebels. So here, 60s Rebels are hippies. We take pages from them, and we get HIIES, and then which clue was that? That was 32 down, and so one I is the extra one, and you end up with this highs, which means a Scottish word to turn left, something to do with horses, I think. So what else was there? Henry dive in is another one. In is a synonym for fashionable or hip. Henry, H is a valid abbreviation for Henry. A dip is a dive. So D in dip is an extra letter, and so we get hip. And so on. So once you do all that, you get a grid which looks like this. And the extra words from the grid give us minister, meadow, and then the other are awful, hollow, rueful, past, can close in. And so this I enjoyed a lot because it is indeed a rather faithful description of a plot, of this play in question. And so, but also it's a wordplay for its title. So if you take awful, so in other words, you anagram hollow rueful, which gives you RL, and then past can close in. So this thing's anagram to an inspector calls, which is a play by a chap called J.B. Priestley. And now, as we can see, priest is a minister and Lee is a meadow. And so Priestley, the first two extra words give wordplay for the author's surname. And this J.B. Priestley, 1945, Inspector, an inspector calls, wrote a play called An Inspector Calls. And in that play, the various members of a family treat a certain young girl in various unpleasant ways. And so from the extra letters, these unpleasant ways emerged. So the one chap, that chap is called Arthur, sacked her, one lady Sheila envied her, Gerald dumped her, Sybil gave her no aid, and Eric was latching, not sure how, again, like not a word I use a lot, but basically, yeah. He expressed certain lecherous desires, and that left the young girl who suicidal. So this is these are the extra words, and we can find in the grid the anagrams of all those names. So as you can see, here we get Arthur, and so somewhere here we get Sybil, and somewhere here we get Gerald, and then here we get Eric, and then here we have Daisy and Eva, which are the two first names, and which he goes there. So I think we go from here, and then who else was there? Sybil, Eric, Gerald, Sheila, and then where is Sheila? I forgot where Sheila was. There. And now, in a clever way, once you replace all those, as you can see, they have the same number of letters, each character, as their treatment. So Arthur is 6 letters and sacked is 6 letters. And as you replace this with sacked, and say this with suicidal, what you're left with are still the real words and phrases and abbreviations. And so this is, I think, this goes here, and Sheila, I think, envied and Gerald dumped. And that includes some rather clever changes. So including this dressing and this night air and the red setter turning to red letter. And Sybil gave her no aid. And the central character, the mentioned inspector, I think goes under the name of Ghoul. And so now suddenly the homophone of that turns up in the grid, and this is what we need to highlight. So I believe this is the answer. So of course, to get all that, I needed to research a little bit of the chap, and this is actually what was probably for me the most interesting part of it. So maybe I can show you. So this is the chap, and first thing it turns out he died on the 14th of August 1984, which is the day when I was born. And so, yeah, interesting coincidence there. And I immediately sort of... I don't know whether this is actually an anniversary puzzle, because I think it was released around, so this is quite close, but this is not, I mean, we're in 2025, so this is not a round number in any way. Same goes with his birth date. The play itself was released in 1945, so it could be like the 80th anniversary of that. But I think it was premiered in September, so maybe it was finished. Oh, I don't really know. Yeah, whether this... We'll have to wait till the solution is published to... and obviously, when you're watching this, it is published, so you can check what the notes say and whether this was in any way an anniversary thing. But the other crazy story about this particular play, and as you can see, like this play is on in British GCC syllabus, and as you can see, there are opinions about that. So this is his best known play. And the crazy thing about it is that it was actually first performed in the Soviet Union in 1945. And this sounds like there must be... So this is rather crazy, right? And I tried to understand, how that happened, and I did read this article in The Guardian to try and get it, and I didn't really get like all... I wouldn't say it's now all totally clear how that happened, but it's an interesting read, and I would encourage you to go there, because it also, yeah, like it has this original Leningrad poster of it, and the play there goes by the name of Вы этого не забудете, you will not forget this, or you won't forget this. Because I guess an Inspector Calls is very close in terms of the name to, the government inspector by Gogol. And so, yeah, they probably had to change the name for, although there is a different word for inspector in Russian. So, yeah, I don't know why the name was translated like this or changed to this. But yeah, there are some interesting stories about their Russian journeys, like how they were visiting collective farms and writers' cabins in pinewood forests with indigestible lunch washed down with vodka, which was not Jane's, his wife, idea of a day in the country. Anyway, so the reason I'm showing you this is that actually, like, this is the sort of things that listener can lead you to, right? So you learn some interesting stories. And although this, I'm sure this will not be anywhere, like, I don't think this will be in like among the top 10 puzzles of the year, although it is a very nice puzzle, very nicely constructed. I really enjoyed that you sort of, obviously with all these changes, you get real words throughout, and also this whole idea of describing the plot of the play with these extra words which also act as a wordplay for its title. This is probably the most beautiful bit. But still, I think there's like not enough fireworks so that people wouldn't consider it in the running for Puzzle of the Year. Unlike last week's listener by Eck, but I do like when they are telling me something about something in real world. In this case, about a play which I, being again a non-native speaker, never exposed to GCC syllabus, had no idea about, and then it suddenly has rather quirky connections to my home country, and also turns out that the chap who wrote it died on the day that when I was born. So yeah, I'm very glad and I'm very thankful to Awinger for letting me learn about all of this. So in some sense, like, this is what I'm doing the listener for. So yeah, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. And next week there is a numerical, I heard. And in fact, I mean, not only I heard it, by the time I'm recording this, I'm solving this numerical now. And although I will solve this numerical, I don't think I will record a video about it. So I guess the next one is going to be in 2 weeks. And I will see you then. Bye.